Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Iron Panther Presents. Today, happy Sunday, if you will, because we got Chris and we got Stacy to discuss the somewhat controversial, dare I say, remaking of a movie called Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul, starring Regina Hall and Sterling K. Brown of the This Is Us fame, for example. But what's this about? What are we going to get into? Church couple trying to get their church life back together again after said scandal has hit the news or whatever. Shenanigans ensue as they try to accomplish this, apparently. Stacy, what did you think of said film?
Hated it. It wasn't what I asked for. It wasn't what I was expecting. I wanted no parts of this movie. The 15-minute short film was better. It was way better. All I needed was 15 minutes to understand what was happening. I didn't need an hour and 40-something minutes.
48.
Yeah.
Long
didn't
as
need
fuck.
it. I love Regina Hall. I love Sterling K. Silver, or whatever his name is.
Silver? You said silver?
I did. I don't know.
Sterling Silver.
Sterling Silver,
Mr.
whatever.
Brown. Mr.
It's
Brown.
early. I'm still having breakfast. My
Or
mind
Randall.
is working.
Randall is fine.
Randall, whatever. Love the actors. I think the acting was
Randall?
great. I did not need this story. Or they could have made it funny. Like I expected the movie to be actually funny. It wasn't really funny to me. And then I guess they didn't want to make it too funny because of the subject matter, maybe. But I didn't sign up for an Eddie Long documentary. I didn't.
I see your point. I would say conscious misdirected advertising. I believe to get people into the seats. But anyway, Chris, what did you think? Is it what you thought, and what did you get?
No, it's not what I thought, but I still enjoyed it in the sense of I like the fact that it makes fun of the institution of mega churches and the hypocrisy of it. And up until now, it's always been it's like every TV show and movie's been afraid to touch this shit. And this one was just unapologetic to it. So I like the fact that it essentially made fun of it. And so I've always been saying for a while, anytime that you see a pastor that has to have their own hanger or whatnot, they're not truly for the Lord. I truly believe that. There's no way in hell you're really speaking for the Lord and you're wearing the most pimped out outfit and shit like that. And it's funny because every time I go to visit my family in Detroit, that's all you see. You see folks with big fancy cars in their congregation. A lot of times the congregation, they're so devoted to it. It's just it's hard to kind of get them out of it. I mean, hell, we just saw what happened in New York. The homie basically being robbed on live streaming, and a lot of congregations still came back. Some of the congregation came back still, even after all that. You know what I mean? So it kind of, I think it spoke depths as far as like, especially in Black churches, just what just what like when it comes to faith and whatnot, what we are willing to give up when it comes to serving the Lord and the messengers behind it. So,
I agree with both of you that I was expecting a comedy, Stacy. Like I saw Regina Hall, I saw the trailer, I was like, this is gonna be hilarious. To see Sterling K. Brown talking about shake it for the Lord. Shake it for the. I was like, oh, okay. Like after This Is Us, a very serious drama, like he wants to get into comedy.
It's comedic. It has like little dry humor sprinkled.
But
so he can do it. I know he can. I believed in him.
But this is a dark drama with some comedy in it. Not a comedy show with some serious stuff in it. Like this goes deep into some shit. And I was like, I was not prepared. Like, this is not what I signed up for. But to Chris's point, I was like, minus some of the artsy shit that was completely unnecessary. I just feel like that's just Jordan Peele being Jordan Peele. I mean, he's executive producer. I feel like you can see his touch in this movie. Like there was dramatic stuff.
And that was another thing. I expected maybe some horror thrown in for no reason, some spirits, some resurrection, some something. Nothing.
But there was so there's a couple moments I want to talk about that again. I feel like it was like J.J. Abrams does something, you're gonna see his touch in it, like with the creatures or whatever. Like there's certain things he just brings to a project. I feel there were certain things that they just brought to the project, especially when you watch the short film, which doesn't have they exaggerated certain pieces, like for example, and I think that's just Jordan. But I liked it that it was kind of told from the First Lady's character. I thought. But then it like Sterling, like the pastor kind of took the lead really a lot of time, even though this is supposed to be like Regina Hall's movie, even by billeting, like she was a top billed actor for this movie. Like Sterling's character still by far was like the bigger one. Like it was kind of hard to see Regina.
Well, I think that was kind of the point, that the pastor kind of overtakes her and she just kind of follows along, even though she's, I guess, secretly masterminding from behind or whatever. I don't know. I was ready to go to bed after an hour or so.
What? So, what does she know and what she don't know? So, one of the issues.
Knows everything. Huh? She knows everything.
In this, so in this version, like so Kim watched the review, and in their review, they were like, they didn't know the pastor, if the First Lady knew. I'm like, she knew what happened. She knew that. So, but what happened? Because in the short story, you're led to believe that said pastor did molest an underage boy because he was 17, so he was probably 60 at
well, the age of consent is 16 in Georgia. They said Eddie Long allegedly groomed these men up to the legal age before he engaged with whatever he did. So I'm assuming that that's what this is following, because 16. You can consent in Georgia.
So that's in the documentary. In this, they made a point to say all these men were 18 and above. Like they were, and even
because that's more of a national thing. Like if you don't live in Georgia, you think, oh, these are underage, but 16 is
of age.
In Georgia.
So yeah. It was interesting, and this is also Georgia, Atlanta based. Like even this in this movie, the one victim that got out the car and confronted him, like he was a jilted lover. I mean, he was like, I thought I was the only one.
But that follows Eddie Long's story, because some of them boys were like, they consented, right, to the relationship, but they felt like because of the grooming and because they were in like
they were brainwashed,
a desperate situation.
Yeah, like
he's paying for stuff and buying stuff and being a mentor to them, they consented to the relationship.
Yeah.
But it was based upon him being almost a father figure to them.
Yeah. I feel like they were easily manipulated that way.
They were kids that didn't have probably a daddy, didn't have resources, money, all that stuff.
Yeah, those are the easiest ones to kind of prey on, the ones who don't really have the tight-knit family and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was definitely some Eddie Long vibes here. You know what I mean? Exception of, like you said, age. Yeah.
So do you feel they were going for, that story, man, groomed and manipulated these men, or he's a gay man who had consenting relationships and that got found out?
I think it was grooming.
All right. The story?
Like he came to the little basketball player or whatever, he was like, oh, your beard or whatever. Yeah. I was like, I don't know. Like maybe he just wants a man. But I think the grooming was part of I don't know.
Because he clearly so even with the scene which is in the movie, not in the documentary, like the scene of him in bed with Gina Hall and he like basically trying to give her up the ass again, and she was like, I thought we were doing it the regular way, he couldn't get his dick up. I'm like, I swear we've seen this before and I can't remember where we saw it before, but like he's clear to me, he's a gay man who by now the wife should know this man is gay. You've been with this man for 15 fucking years. Like, is this the first time that you caught him with a man, or is this the first time that everybody found out about it? And I'm like, this is
I'm
not
sure she knew.
addressed.
Yeah, she definitely did.
She knew.
She knew about the 4 boys. I'm asking, did she know for 15 years? She clearly knew about
I'm sure she. If he only taking you from the backside, and you got to beg for some other action.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, that's why she that's why she reacted the way she did. Like, damn, like, you know what I mean?
Like,
so
why are you still here? Like, then that's the like, where's the conversation?
She wants
that
to
happens
be
all
on
the time.
stage. She wants the life. She wants the
Right.
visibility.
So then, yes, we're going to review Raising Canaan at 1:00 after this KJ.
Why they be doing that? Like, we've been doing other reviews. Like, come on, guys. Like, we haven't even gone 45 minutes in. We were like, when you gonna do the next one in 2 hours? I was like, damn, guys. Like, all right, we got we got
to do other content. We got to do other content. So
love you, KJ. But
yeah, man. So what, like, so you say that they don't address it. I would say specifically to Black churches, it doesn't necessarily get addressed. You had Greenleaf. I mean, if you looked at that, it wasn't necessarily showing some of the hypocrisy, but not to the level of this. The Righteous Gems. I knew there's an HBO show, but that's a white
Righteous Gemstones. Love it. Awesome show.
So, and I'm like, but like, to your point, that's more of a white church. Like, you usually seeing like the white churches up here doing this kind of stuff. You see it in the Black church. Like, the last church show I remember was Amen, and that was back in the 80s. But you remember that? With Sherm Hensley?
I remember the show, but what happened?
Yeah, but that wasn't a mega church though.
Well, I'm true point, but like a church-based like comedy, like just kind of but like not to the level of the like kind of the problems that this church obviously has. But like they just don't do Black churches that often in this way. So that's what I'm saying. I can see this being like a unique.
Oh, in the show. Well, I mean, the thing is, only up until recently, where it's come to light with the Bishop, with the Eddie Longs and the Creflo $8, where it's like it come to light about like it's not just Joel Osteen who's crooked. You know what I mean? It's not just those folks. You know what I mean? So, they're just not. The Black megachurches isn't as huge as that. Everyone knows that they're full of shit. Some of these guys are full of shit too, but I would even
just come out apologizing for his indiscretions. It was a white pastor, and then the whole Hillsong controversy that was going on with that church.
Oh, the documentary, yeah, that was in real life, yeah.
So before
and Justin Bieber's pastor did some shady shit too, didn't he?
Who? I don't know.
Justin Bieber's pastor.
Oh,
there's that young guy. That young is the only pastor you would ever see that looks young and hip. He's always wearing like, he looks like Eddie Murphy
and stuff. Yeah.
No,
it's
he got tattoos, earrings. He's a pastor. Mm-hmm. He wears like Gucci glass shades and whatever.
I mean, Justin Bieber is one of your congregant. You can afford it because I'm pretty sure he's paying his tithes and offerings.
Yeah. I feel like the thing is, especially even watching I figured this even watching her interview with the director. It was just making fun of mega churches in general. That's not really Black mega churches, but just the hypocrisy of mega churches. Even when you watch those Righteous Gemstones, yes, it's a white church, but you watch it, there's like stuff of Creflo $8. There's like stuff of like Black, you see for Black churches too. That is basically like putting them all together. Matter of fact, even though it's John Goodman's church, you see they actually show you other mega churches, just like you see in this movie. But you see other mega churches, even Black churches, who do some stupid ass shit too. So it's just mega churches in general. It's basically I feel like the point of this movie was just that just be wary of just these big time these pastors and these charlatans that tell you one thing but then do the other thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I feel like that's why they emphasize so much in the point of him talking about like how homosexual is horrific and being a homosexual life. And it's like, thank God for my wife and all that stuff. Like he drove that thing in hard, you know what I mean? In the sense of just talking about how bad that was. But you see that like everywhere, everything from even the Catholic Church, everything, you know what I mean? And then they have their own issues,
I see, but again, those are different discussions. I mean, like he's like molesting these boys, so whether gay or not, like that's a problem right there. Like again, I took it again. At first, I was like, well, maybe again he had consensual relationships with younger men, but they were both. They knew what they were doing. But again, if he was running on this anti-gay platform, then yes, he would be a hypocrite in that sense.
He did.
Like,
didn't you see that part in the movie?
that was one sermon. Like it was one time. Like I didn't get the feeling that was like his shit. Like they had one of those like conversion programs and shit. Like there's a difference between a lot of black churches acknowledging that the Bible says homosexuality is wrong and like that's your shit. Like we go out there and we try to stop people from being gay. Is what I'm saying.
Based on Eddie Long. Eddie Long marched in anti-gay parades and he went against gay marriage and he had this whole thing.
So like if he was, if that was,
and in an hour and 40 minutes, they could have shown that if that's what they were trying to.
That's well, show who, show what?
Him just being like staunchly
Curtis,
homosexuality, gay marriage, gay rights.
Yeah.
All that
well,
stuff.
I think that was just an aspect of it. Yeah, I think it was just an aspect of hypocrisy. It wasn't just the fact that he was like on a download secrecy. I think it was just the fact that he's talking about not buying your way into heaven, and here he is with his Lamborghini, and then him talking about, oh my God, I got gum on my shoes. There's everything about what he was doing was just straight up like hypocrisy. You know what I mean? And especially when you hear about stuff that goes on in the actual church, talking about like only honor one woman and that's your wife, and then meanwhile, they messing around sometimes with some of these other women out in the congregation. You know what I mean? It's like, where does this, like your money only deserves for one person, and that's to the Lord. And this man talk about, it's like, God bless me with these jets and stuff. So everything that came out.
came out and said you're not even required to tithe.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know what? When he said that, after he made people tithe 20%, over that 10%, that little hypocrite,
you have to turn in your W-2s to make sure that you were properly giving the right amount. And now he's like, oh, it's not required by.
Yeah, now all of a sudden it's a problem. After I had my jet and my hanger and whatnot. Now you know what? Don't tithe no more. Like as if like, okay, basically it's like, I'm good. I got my $20 million. Like,
so to the point of the movie trying to show the hypocrisy in other ways, right? If he was a prosperity preacher, what I heard, which again, just like Joe Dollar, be like, hey, you give me the money, I'm living big, you can be like me, as opposed to you got to be poor for the Lord and belongs to the Lord, but then you're living off the church. Yeah. Like that would have been like, they could have did better showing like that part of the message, or if he was living better than his congregation, like even in small churches. When the pastor is, has a BMW, but the average, driver, is like sharing a car, then it's like, where's the money going? Like, how are you helping, your people? Like, we never got into that kind of issue. Like, what was his average congregation like? If he was helping the mayor and the governor or some shit, like he was a high level church. And then the documentary did a better job of showing the time span. Because I was like, how long have y'all been empty? That like, because 6 months over to 18 months, you're in a whole different financial problem. Like your church is being shut down, your cars are gone, you're about to sell your house. Like, where are they in this process? And it wasn't until I watched the documentary that I'm like, oh, okay, year and a half into this scandal, you're feeling it. Like you're feeling it, like right now. And I just think the documentary did a better job, a more succinct job of like showing the crisis situation that they were supposed to be in, because they were still balling out. What I saw with only 5 members, which don't make any damn sense. I was like, this is not.
It's an illusion. That's the whole thing. It's all an illusion. It's like, yeah, you got the cars paid off and whatnot, so obviously you don't have to get them repoed or whatever. But you ain't living this real life of luxury. It's all an illusion at the end of the day. It's just what they dress up. Like, oh, I'm not supposed to cuss in front of you, but then I'll go into the car and play and start singing "Nuck If You Buck," like. Which I thought that was amazing. Hilarious. Awesome scene. Hilarious. But that's again, even though that was like, that's against to the hypocrisy of everything. You know what I mean? So I love the fact that it's just like, the thing is like, it did not focus on one thing. It focused on everything, where you can emphasize, even though you might not emphasize with having a gay pastor, you can emphasize with someone who might cuss and then who cuss in private and then say something to y'all on the back end, or someone would be like, hey, money is just something that needs to be respected, and then all of a sudden drive fancy cars, or or just or just stuff about your like your temple in your house, and you don't need these big old houses, and this man's living in a mansion. It's just a bunch of things all rolled up in one, which I like, because it didn't try to focus on one thing. Because if you focus on one thing, a lot of people might not emphasize with that one thing. You know what I mean? It focuses on a bunch of like everything, in the sense of just stuff that everyone probably knows of a person, maybe not necessarily a pastor, but someone who speak all the shit. You know what I mean?
So I think this point of like this movie wasn't the world. I thought this could have been the begin, like especially the way they ended it. I thought it would have been better if they weren't going to end with a solid ending. What's going on with her, like where she's going. Like this could have been like the first episode of a series to kind of be like what is her journey, right? Like does she stay with the pastor? Does she identify? Does she find her own voice and start her own church? Like, but they ended the way they did. I was like, what is this? How is she any different than she was when she started this movie? Besides the fact that she told him not to talk about her hat. Like that's the only thing.
In like a murder suicide.
All right.
She's did she say like I'd rather kill him than leave him or something?
Yeah.
That's what happens with a lot of people. I mean, that happens a lot. I mean, it's just like straight up. It's like no matter what I want, you know what I mean? It's like, especially when you talk about the institution of marriage. Some people, they'll find out that maybe their man or maybe their woman has like cheated on them with like a whole bunch of women or whatnot. But especially like, for example, like the South American countries, there's no such thing as divorce. There's no such thing. It's like more like literally when you be married, we will die together. You know what I mean? That is it. Like, you know what I mean? So for her, especially her going into church, you see that a lot. And so I feel like that I mean, there was nothing to it because unfortunately, even though yes, it was abrupt, I feel like we know the outcome of Regina Hall. She's still with them. You know what I mean? She's still going to be riding with him. You know what I mean? With him having all these horrible tendencies, you know. So that's the thing that kind of sucks. You know what I mean? So, you know,
I felt she played a similar character in Girls Trip, and I think that did it better because you had a beginning and middle and end to her story. She's a public figure with a man who's also famous. The man has some sexual issues. Is she gonna stay? Is she not? You know what I'm saying? And then in the end, in this particular situation, she left, but at least you know her future. And it just kind of, to me, it's kind of like summed it up better. I mean, in a less movie with actually some comedy in it, comedy or not, it just made a more linear story that I was like, I get it. Like this was like artsy, and I'm like, what? Like what? And then the mime thing. I didn't understand like why she was upset until I watched the short story.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, like she's scared of mimes. I'm like, if this is supposed to be the same character, which it is, almost scene for scene in certain areas. So I was like, oh, okay. Or is she just a crying clown? Like, what are we doing with this? Like, I was like, what? I'm confused. Like, that's Mustang doing a donut in the parking lot. I'm like, what the fuck is this about? Like, what are we doing? Like, why are we looking at this? Like, I'm confused. So I don't know. And then the bubblegum young lady, like her just standing there, like,
right.
What was that about? Like, and then, but it's just like, what are we? And again, I feel like that's Jordan Peele right there. That like long, drawn out scene of her just standing there and the bubble getting bigger and bigger. Because in the short story, it was a second, and that makes sense, right? And then you move on. But like, why are you standing there? The black single mother, I'm assuming she's a single mother. The black mother cussing this shit out of, I'm like, where's your man at? Anyway, mother cussing this shit out of Regina Hall. I'm like, what? Why this is happening? Like, I don't understand. And I was so
when she was at the mall and there was a guy in a ball cap and she kept staring at him.
Yeah.
What was that about?
I think that's the guy in the car. I took it as that was one of the victims.
Khalil?
Yeah, or at least one of the victims. It was. I felt like that was one of the victims. She was trying to avoid eye contact, and I think was that Khalil. But that's
had long locks.
I'm going for what I just thought. That's why I thought. But again, that was never explained. We never see the other three victims. I'm like, I don't know. But that's the only thing I could come up with. That's why she was trying to avoid eye contact and she wanted to leave altogether. So that's what I thought. I don't know. But the scene with the mother cussing Regina Hall out, I understand that it's supposed to be the difference between her taking the blame for what he did and then him being praised by that prisoner. I don't know why he had to be a prisoner. I don't know why that was important, but like they were like, he's in jail, but he still thanked them for his service. And I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, I get the but I'm like, why are you cussing this woman out? Like, I don't. Why is the baby there? I'm like, what? Like if the baby fucked me up more than anything else. I was like, why is this poor child got to listen to these woman cuss this thing out? Because this is real life. Like, that little girl sitting there for real, listening to this adult do all this cussing in her face. So I'm like, the mama scene. The mama scene was probably the most like the impact was I thought, again, you learn how long they've been together, and the fact that even the mama was like, Jesus says, stay your ass where you at. And
That's different.
I was like, that's rough. That's I needed something. Why'd y'all get married in the first place? I need to hear it. Like, because I didn't see love in their relationship. I didn't. I saw support. You know, like she is there for him as a business. And the rapping scene, they were a team, but I didn't see, I love this. You know what I'm saying? I love this man or I love this woman without the lights, camera, and action. We're a couple trying to get through this. I didn't.
Maybe they were best friends growing up. I don't know. They didn't give us a backstory, which they could have in an hour and 40 minutes.
We had time. like stop the donut scene and give me some background on these damn characters. Like, and out of 15 years, you just figure. I'm like, it's all. And then why did she serve him divorce papers now? Like, what made this different if she knew all this time?
She probably realized that the church is not going to ever be what it was, and she cutting her losses because that's all she's in it for.
But he was a mega church pastor 15 years ago.
Yeah, but she saw the vision, right? So she invested in him and pushed him and propped him up and supported him.
Okay, all right. I would have like, you would want that. Why y'all together? How you still been together? What did it start off as a business arrangement, or were y'all actual loving couple? And then you realized who you married, and you said, "Fuck it, we riding this thing out." But what makes this time so different? Or did you just, again, maybe just became public, and that's what it was?
Maybe, but I think when she saw him, she probably figured out, okay, he's not going to stop. Number one, there's going to be more scandals, and the church is never going to survive his shenanigans.
And also, as both of you, as we talk about, many churches have gone through the whole scandal thing, and they've kept pretty much their whole congregation. Like, for them to go for over 20,000 members to 5, I'm like, that don't seem realistic. Like I mean, I think they would at least kept a couple of thousand. I mean, straight up priests with molestation charges keep more members than that. Like, legit. I don't know, Chris. I mean, what you do? You feel like it was realistic to the fall of the church and the comeback story?
Well, yeah, especially seeing how they had to settle. See, that's the thing. A lot of times, if you see, especially with churches, like, for example, I'll just say this particular church that my aunt used to go to in Detroit. We found out when the minister was messing around with some of the congregation, with some of the women congregation, like other people, like other people's wives and shit like that. He didn't deny it. Everybody left, right? You know, he had to, like, basically his shit had to get shut down. But then nowadays, like, if like you just deny that something happened, and you don't settle, so that's the thing. If you're settling, like, everyone knows what's up. You know what I mean? So, I feel like that was his thing. That was his downfall. You know what I mean? So, if you're so sure of yourself, you don't settle. That's crazy. I'm not even quoting a line that Donald Trump even said.
Michael Jackson, Bill Cosby.
Well, according to the streets, right? Situation, it's like when you're a public figure, you have like the insurance just in case some shit happens. A lot of times the insurance company will say, hey, we need to settle this, we just gonna go ahead and pay out regardless of what the actual person says. Like, I want to fight it, the insurance company would be like, nah, just cut a check and keep it moving. So maybe that's what happened.
R. Kelly kept more fans with having a videotape. Like I'm like, so they ain't gonna leave you. Like I'm like, if you got heart.
Well, churches is sometimes different. Church is a little bit different than like playing a song from your wedding. Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
no,
Step in the Name of Love. I'm sorry, right? Yo, that dude is guilty as fuck. But I swear to God, if you play Step in the Name of Love, I'm dancing to it.
Okay, so
now is he a creep? Absolutely. But yeah.
What's that saying?
There's a pastor, I think he's in Florida, and an OnlyFans recording came out.
A who?
An OnlyFans recording of him doing the guy in the butt. No condom, no nothing.
Oh, all you had to say was Florida. Ooh.
Yeah, it was in Florida. Of course, he moved to Atlanta because why not, right? So there's this whole thing. I don't know if he lost his church or not. Or he may be in the process of losing the church while he came to Atlanta, where it's probably more acceptable. But yeah.
So I would have wanted to heard from the deacons. Like when he's like, I got rid of the deacon board because of, because he's spending too much money, whatever. Like they could have gave us some of that. Like I would have been like, again, so was it the spending? Was it because it seemed at that moment it was more the lavish spending that they were like, why are you doing this shit? Like that would have been interesting to kind of flush it out more than just I was with some boys and I bought them a Camaro. And then the documentary and the movie does the same scene where you see him hug the prisoner. Right?
I thought he was gonna grope that boy for a minute.
In the movie, they focus on it for so long. You thinking this is something, right? Like y'all used to love her, right? Mm-hmm. But in the documentary, it was a second. It was more socially acceptable kind of hug, like, hey man, thank you very much. Boom, we move on, right? But in the movie,
well, they only had 15 minutes to make a point, so he couldn't let it linger.
I was like, but the movie, I was like, oh shit, man, you gotta.
Yeah, it was uncomfortable. I was like, okay, what's about to happen here?
He's like, where's that other hand? He's like,
yeah, in that movie, I felt like in that movie, like you knew what Nina's, who they said Nina cut it or whatnot. You found out what Nina's true intention was. The fact that she grabbed that camera so fast to catch that hug, because that hug was innocent. You know what I mean? But but at that point you knew what she was trying to do, which is why she also spied on I guess Regina Hall's character, I guess at the mall, like all this stuff. She's like, oh, I'm just trying to get the truth. That's just the truth and just understand who you guys are. And then you see that whole thing and you're like, oh shit, Nina ain't shit. Okay. Like,
what was the significance that you never actually saw her? And like she was just a voice, and like the only time she said it was like, "Why are you still here?" Like was she supposed to represent us as the audience? Like at some point, cause I was like, she's just like the narrator, but without.
I don't think it's that deep. I think it's just straight up, just like someone shooting a documentary, just how you will watch a movie, like watch a documentary and whatnot. So it's to kind of bring you into the movie, and be part of it, which is why there's always talking to the camera, talking to But I don't think it's like more of like saying she's supposed to be us.
Cause it reminded me of like The Office. I think Parks and Rec. I think before that, but like Abbott Elementary, like that kind of shit. Like this, it sounds like that kind of wannabe filmmaking documentary shooting way. And then they break that wall when the cameras aren't there, because when they're sitting in the SUV like doing gangster rap, like that's just them, right? Like so you just watching them again. Their chemistry was awesome. Like I mean, and maybe it's just Regina Hall. Like I think she melds well with all her male counterparts. Like it seems very natural. And
DC stand up.
She good, man. I was like, shake it for the Lord. Shake it for the like. I mean, I feel like if you wanted a comedy, just watch the trailer. Like, and you will be fine. Because I think all the major comedy moments are in the trailer. Like, if you watch the movie, you're gonna be like, hey, what happened to oh shit, this is going a different direction. Yeah. Like I didn't see this happening.
Yeah, I would say this is probably one of Regina Hall's best performance. Like I really love Sterling Brown's too. Like Sterling Brown's was like, he was irritating, but it was like more of like you're supposed to be irritated. It was, maybe not on that same level as like Leo DiCaprio and Django level, you know what I mean? But it was more of like, damn, you ain't shit. Like, damn, what's wrong with you? You know what I mean? but he played so many levels. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like I was like this. That's one thing. I definitely can't knock out of this, and that's the acting, except except some of the maybe the like probably like you guys said, like maybe the abrupt ending. But yeah.
And the supporting the opposite church, the younger church, like coming up and everything. Like
Oh yeah.
It took me a while to Terry was like, that's the lady from Sleepy Hollow. I was like, oh shit, that is her.
Yeah, it looks like she bleached her skin too.
I was like, it could have been the lighting. I mean, I don't know about that, but I mean, it was hard. It was hard to recognize her. I mean, to your point, I think it was trying like she looked different. But like I was like,
oh, you didn't recognize her at first?
I didn't. I thought that was like Megan Good or some shit. And I was like, no, that's not. I know I wasn't her, but I was like, because to your point of her skin tone, like it threw me off. I'm like, that's not.
Well, it didn't. I mean, it didn't throw me off that I didn't know who she was. Like, I mean, damn. I mean, even Angelina. Okay, all right. I still knew who she was. I was just saying, like she bleached a little bit.
I was like, I don't. Stacey, not Stacey looking.
Gotta see if she light skinned or something. I mean, she was a little browner. Maybe it was the wintertime.
I don't know, man. It just suspect. I don't know. They fired the deacons when they questioned his spending. So again, that would have been a good part of the documentary. Like that random ass college dude that I guess he didn't molest and was like, "Hey, I like to play basketball at the court, and he's a good dude." Like it would have been good to talk to one of the deacons. Like that would have been. It would have fleshed out more of the problems besides his sexual issues. I thought, and then I just thought it's 2017 in the short story, 2020 maybe 22 in real life. I'm like, where's the social media? Like, if you're serious about getting your message out, like they should have had a social media crew while they're out there doing Honk for Jesus. But you cannot realistically think that you're going to sit on the side of a road and fill a 25,000 person church. Like that don't make no damn sense. Like I'm like, where's the Instagram or something? Like do some TikTok dancing. Like that's the bullshit you need to be doing if you were trying to be real about it. Like I was like, this should have happened in the 80s. Like what I saw in this movie was like 90s, like some kind of 90s shit going on, and that would have made sense. I mean, anyway, what's up, Chris? I'm sorry. Okay, never mind. You good? All right. So anything else for this before we get to power?
Shout out to Sterling's gym membership and personal trainer, because yes, I was here for it. Thank you for that, Stacey. To the point of when he took his clothes off for that baptism was hilarious. I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? And they purposely kept Regina's eyes closed so she could only time when she opened when he's fully like in his drawers, and she's like, oh, this is not what we agreed to. I was like, this is not okay. I was like, what is happening? Before I knew they were going to go the gay route, I thought that little girl was going to be his. That's what I thought. Oh.
And they were going to do the traditional. I was talking my Congress member, and and I was like, oh, okay, that's his kid. And I was like, oh no, he like dudes. Like, never mind. I was like, oh, they're doing something different. They could have did both. Think about it.
I mean, you could have been slanging it both ways.
That's what I'm saying. That would have been awesome. They would have been like, hey, this is my daughter, and I was boning that boy over there. I was like, no one's seen that yet. I was like, write it down. That's a movie idea. Right there. In the trailer, the movie is in a nutshell. Because Lee Curtis says Rocky one was the setup, and we need to get to the real story in the sequel. That was hilarious. I did like that. So this is gonna be a part 2. He's like, baby, you gotta get past it. She's like, he lost in that movie, right? I was like, oh shit, yeah, you're right. He should have said Rocky 3, because Rocky 3 is when he fought Mr. T. I do believe. Yes, I was like, because Rocky 2 he fought Apollo Creed again and won. 3 he fought Mr. T. 4 I think Apollo.
What was the Russian? I remember that.
4 Rocky. That's when Apollo died. Yeah. That was real shit. That's what I was old enough to watch. I'm sorry, we're getting off track. Anyway, Rocky movie is good. He should mention Creed. Chris, anything for wraps up and get to Kane?
No, I also like when they were speaking in tongues too. That part had me going.
Hilarious.
That was hilarious. I know some people are going to probably get offended with that whole thing, but damn. That reminded me of one of my old churches I used to go through, where like some of the people just kind of fall out. I'm like, damn, really? Like, come on, like, okay.
I did want to see somebody practice catching the Holy Ghost or something. Like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do, and then they fall out or whatever.
No. I love to both of your, but that little girl when she said, "I love theater." I was like, hilarious. I was like, you know who does that well? Kev on stage. He really has the speaking tongue thing down. Like he's good. He's good with that. But that's a Pentecostal church. Like that's Church of God in Christ. Like that's not like she said Baptists don't do that. So I was very confused. I was like,
you don't do what?
Baptists don't do what?
Only Baptists do speaking in tongues.
What are you talking about? They absolutely do. Yeah, mine did that. What are you talking about?
All right.
Matter of fact, the one I used to go to did that as well. Actually, they did that one did a lot.
I mean more that's what separates the Baptists from like the Pentecostals from like, you know, like and the Methodists. Like they're all Christians, but like how they dress certain things. Like but
Methodists are more chill, but Baptists, yeah.
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 Especially the more south you go. You know what I mean?
All right. they pulling out the snakes and shit. I mean,
no, we don't.
Oh, no, those are the tents.
No.
You think of like those little tent revivals?
Yeah. When you get the snakes and shit, I was like, that's stupid. I mean, let's not do that. But yeah, I thought someone's gonna be like bumping into walls and not getting hurt. That's why I heard that. That's how you know you got the spirit. When you got to hold people.
I thought you're gonna have like somebody in a wheelchair to get healed and start running out of church. I
was like, I thought that would have been good too. I wanted somebody to get out that Mustang. Just do something like shoot the pastor. I thought, again, to your point, I thought in the end that boy was gonna get out and be like, you fucked me in the ass, and he get shot. Like I was like, all right, and that's how he goes out. Something that would have been something. Or if the theme is First Lady takes the shit for everything, right? She accidentally gets shot, and it was all the pastor's fault, like something like that. Like that would have been something, and then we would have had a more ending. All right. Well, I don't think it's gonna be a sequel, but again, I thought it could have fleshed it out. All right, we're gonna do this.
This is good. Yeah, something like this. You don't need a sequel. This is just, it's supposed to be a satirical piece on just the hypocrisy. Then that's it.
Yeah.
Don't overstay your welcome.
I think Living Color did it better and more succinctly. With Damon Wayans and Jim Carrey. Hilarious. He was like, "What was that, Lord? I should have a plane." What? I was like, that shit. He was like, I was like, hilarious, bro. I was like, thank you.
Yeah.
They should take that to the movies.
Well, I don't know. I mean, but if you do it like the SNL version, like you'll laugh at it, of course, but you're not taking it to heart. You know what I mean? This one, like, when the credits rolled, I was like, damn, like, kind of, if you weren't already rethinking things as far as like the church you go to, like that one really, this one kind of does really open up your eyes. Like they, maybe not some of the things you don't vibe with, but so I don't know. I mean, there is a like, for example, I watch Righteous Gemstones. That's straight up just comedy, straight up. But I take nothing out of it because it's just funny. It's just meant to be ridiculous. Like they have a roller coaster on their actual right by their church. They built a freaking roller coaster rink. So it's just supposed to be ridiculous. So but this one's like, I feel like you can actually think about, a little bit. Yeah.
Damn it. Something about a roller coaster. You had me thinking about something.
You thinking about what's her name? Faye?
Yes.
Faye, what's her name? Yeah. Righteous Gemstones is kind of playing off of stuff that she did, as well as Creflo Dollar, Joel Osteen, all of them.
Oh, it sounds like an interesting show. But I to the point, like we take a message away from this thing. It did make me go, things that make you say, and like the whole mind thing, I was like, is she a crying clown? I was like, I felt so bad. I was like, be free, girl, be free. And then I was like, why?
Maya Angelou.
I was like, what would you do, babe? Please, babe, don't let this man do this to you. But anyway, all right. Thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you guys for commenting. We appreciate you. Yes, 10 minutes. We will get to the family drama that is Power Book 3, Raising Canaan.
We'll get to it, guys. We're going. We
got it. We got to suit up. I got to use the bathroom. What about actually Easter Sunday? We never found out. What? So I see your point, but the whole thing is that both of the church. That's another thing that irritated me. Like, how did neither one of the churches follow up with each other? So they both opened on the same Sunday. So Easter Sunday became irrelevant. The point was the church neither church wanted to compete with each other, is what they were trying to go for. But in the end, they ended up competing anyway, and the other church won, I guess.
Right. But that showed another hypocrisy with both churches, is that they both say, hey, this like when God has like when Jesus has risen, that's the day that we open up our church as well as Lee Child's. And then you found out later on that both churches were full of shit, in the sense of like they didn't care about shit about like trying to do it in the sense of Jesus has risen. They just want to get the most parishioners. Yeah, that's all it was.
Yeah,
it's all about the numbers. It had nothing to do with Jesus.
But in real life, I mean,
so it called both of them out. It called both groups out.
Oh yeah. I did like the council. Their confrontation scene was hilarious. I was like, "Are you here for marriage counseling?"
No, it's just say, "Yeah, let's pray." And he's like, "Okay."
Like we already got two. We're good. I was like, hilarious.
They looked like they were gonna steal them, man. Both Regina and Sterling looked like they were about to steal the shit out of those two.
I actually thought they were gonna burn down their church. I bet you this was a TV show, they would have did that.
Oh, there was a TV show. Yeah.
I think they would have been like, "This church needs to go." I really thought they were gonna do like, why are you coming to see the building? Damn it! I mean, you could have Googled that shit, but they were like, "Nah, we got to." I was like, "Oh shit, they're gonna burn this church down." I was like, that'd be wild. It's so many options. They had options. It would have been better. I was like, that bubblegum scene
for a movie.
Yeah,
for hour 45
it, huh?
For hour 45 movie. Okay.
That's a lot of time, bro. Like, I mean, they could have burned it down maybe about 45 minutes into it. Then they're trying to investigate that. And it's like, nah, we didn't do it, but we did do it. Like, then they get arrested.
But where's the message that they're trying to show as far as the hypocrisy? Well, you just put in the first 45 minutes and just say, screw the message? The
message is churches ain't shit. Like, you burn down another church, you're a hypocrite and you go to jail. Like, it's not only do you sow hypocrisy, you sow consequences for said hypocrisy. So I'm like, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I mean, I get you.
Look, okay.
I don't think staring into Regina's eyes made it more hypocrisy. I was confused. I was more confused than anything. I mean, that's what I'm saying. That doesn't.
Well, when they were confronting, what's her name? Yeah.
No. I'm talking about the ending of them just going like this.
Oh no. I agree with the abruptness. No. Yeah, that was like I agree with that. Yeah.
But that's why I wanted to bring up.
Message. Yeah.
Do you think the message was Regina Hall is Jesus? Like she sacrificed like. She's sacrificing herself the way Jesus sacrificed himself. God. Like they immediately in both things, they immediately went from her to Jesus.
Yo.
Okay, did you see the Jesus in the short film?
Yes.
Why did he look like that?
I don't even know. I was like, maybe he's scary. He was scary as fuck, dude. I was like, this don't. And then if you got 225 members or 5 members and whatever, why are they not out there helping you? Like, there's so many things that just don't make sense. Like you got people, you cannot do this by yourself.
Yeah, but again, because they were just there, they were acting, right? So it shows that they really weren't for the church. Like they were just there because they were most likely were getting paid off, which is why the little girl said, "I love theater," So they realized it really truly was by themselves. And for optics, those five members. That's why they came all by together. You notice that they came all together, not separately. They all came together like it was choreographed. It was like, you know what I mean?
I see your point, Chris, but again, I would. I would have wanted
no. Oh, go.
I would have wanted something to be like, hey, thanks for like $20, just to confirm. Because again, sometimes you get those hardcore members no matter what you do. I mean, that's real life. So I can see them being a small family who's like, this is our church. We've been here since the beginning. We own church hop. Like, and the orchestrated part was maybe, that's nothing. There's things to talk about this. I'm sorry. So Sterling practicing his sermon in the church and him blaming the devil and temptation and it happened to me. And then Regina's like, you need to be honest. Like, you suck those dicks. Like she wanted him to take responsibility for what he did. And he was like, nah, I'm going to go with the devil maybe do it. Like I thought that was a moment because that's when she started to break down for real because she just got yelled at by that woman And she's like, I'm tired of this shit. And it's like, and she wanted him. That was her way of saying, I need you to be honest. And there was never an honest moment in that, I thought.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I thought that was cool. Anyway. All right.
Yeah.
Y'all go review. Y'all gonna do family business? Yeah, we're gonna do family business today too. Look, we got you. We got things to do. Anyway, 5 minutes. Let's go get Kim. Thank y'all. Appreciate it.